Hello, guys. Brad here again with another fragrance review. Today, from the house of Oriza Legrand, we have Relique d'Amour, and I don't think anybody else has talked about this one yet on YouTube. I have seen a couple of other reviews posted for fragrances from this particular house, but not this one yet. It is classified as a chypre and was released in 2012. Notes include in the top herbal notes and pine, middle notes of powdery notes, lily pepper, oak, incense, myrrh, and alimi. And in the base, we have musk, moss, woodsy notes, and pepper. So you can see from the note breakdown that it is sort of an interesting fragrance. And if you see what the description is, which is the smell of an old chapel, you kind of see that they were going something a little bit different here, maybe slightly gothic or church smelling. And I kind of get that, especially in the opening. In the opening, I do get that something that smells similar to like plant life covered over like an old church rock or something. Like imagine when I was back in the Navy, back in the late '90s in Spain. Imagine I'm like walking down the streets of Spain, and I'm walking past like an old church, especially at night, maybe around like October, November. Maybe there's a little bit of rain coming down. It's kind of dark and dank. Walking past an old church that was built 500 years ago, and it's made out of gray stones, and there's like some kind of a moss or maybe like a pollen or some kind of plant life kind of growing on the side of the church wall. But at the same time, there's some fresh growing flowers out front of the church to kind of give it more of a modern and inviting look. So that's kind of what you get from Relique d'Amour. In the opening, very like a wet stone with maybe like moss, some floral here. Now, I'm not really getting lily. Some people say they get lily. I'm not an expert on lily, but I do know neroli when I smell neroli, and that kind of what I get here. I get like neroli in like a wet moss covered stone effect here. But as the fragrance starts to dry down, it just kind of becomes like this peppery neroli smell with maybe a little bit of an incensey vibe in there as well. Um, so yeah, it's like a dirty, peppery, earthy neroli smell to my nose. Not really my thing. Neroli's never really been, at least not lately, something that I get too excited about. And normally, neroli fragrances are very bright and uplifting, but here the neroli here is toned down into like an earthy, um, peppery thing. So, yeah, not really my thing. I can see some people liking this one. I think, as some people suggested, this might be a good signature scent for somebody. Like I think there's a character from Great Expectations, Miss Havisham, I think her name was. It's a picture like an older lady in a rocking chair. Maybe she's knitting for the church, making a quilt for the church with a bunch of other old ladies or something like that. That might be a good signature scent for somebody like that. Um, and it is classified unisex from some websites. Some say it's feminine. I do see it kind of being unisex. Maybe some guys would want to wear this on occasion. If you like neroli, but you want something that's a little bit more dark and brooding, moody. So that's my thoughts on this one. I'm not too impressed with it. Let's get into some final scores. The smell, 4 out of 10. This one didn't really excite me too much with the neroli and sort of a dirty um, quality to it. And the old church thing didn't really excite me too much. Some people say it smells like the inside of a church as well. I could picture maybe going to a funeral, a 105-year-old woman laying there, with the smell of the old church and maybe some flowers around the grave or the casket. It's not really something that I want to wear on my own skin. That's kind of the vibe you're going to get here. Projection longevity, 6 out of 10. Fortunately, not a really overpowering smell. I think it's more for your own personal enjoyment and those in your very immediate space. Versatility, 3 out of 10 for me. I can't really see too many men or women choosing to wear this one. It would take a certain type of person to choose to wear this one as a signature scent, or even more than just once or twice a year. I think uniqueness 7 out of 10. I think it did have some unique qualities to it. Closest thing I can compare to would be Atelier's Voice Blondes. If you ever smelled that one, if I remember correctly, that also had like a dirty, neroli feel to it. Price point $165 for 100 ml, so it's a bit pricey as the niche line tends to be. Overall, for me, 4 out of 10. I won't miss this sample when it's gone, at least based on my current feelings towards it. But it's always fun to try out fragrances that try to conjure up an image of something, even if it's something like an old church from the 1600s. Just something a little bit different to experience and try out. So maybe get a sample if you can sometime and see what you think. But I would be very wary about getting a full size bottle unless you know what you're in for. So that's my thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.